Have you ever found yourself endlessly checking your phone, waiting for a message that just doesn't come? Wondering if the no contact rule is actually working or if it's just a cruel joke? Well, let me tell you something powerful. The no contact rule isn't just about them reaching out, it's about you. It's about reclaiming your self-worth and stepping into the strongest, most confident version of yourself. When we're hurt, it's natural to want validation from the person who caused the pain. But here's the truth. Constantly seeking their attention doesn't heal you, it drains you. No contact is not a game or a trick to manipulate someone into missing you. It's a boundary, a powerful, empowering boundary that gives you the space to heal and grow. Let me give you an example. Imagine you're holding a glass of water. If you keep holding it up without putting it down, your arm will ache, right? That's what it's like to hold on to someone who's not ready or willing to reciprocate your energy. The no contact rule is like setting that glass down. It's not about forgetting the glass. It's about giving your arm the rest it deserves. And here's where it gets exciting. When you focus on yourself, amazing things happen. You rediscover your passions, rebuild your confidence, and here's the kicker: they start to notice. Suddenly, you're thriving, and that's when they start wondering if letting you go was their biggest mistake. So, stay with me, because in this video, we're going to explore the 5 undeniable signs that the no contact rule is working. And spoiler alert, it's not just about them coming back. It's about you realizing you're so much stronger than you ever thought you could be. Let's take a moment to understand what the no contact rule really is and why it's so powerful when healing from a breakup. First, let me clear up a common misconception. The no contact rule isn't about playing games or manipulating someone into missing you. It's not about revenge, and it's certainly not about creating drama. Instead, it's a boundary, a line you draw not to keep someone else out but to protect what's inside: your peace, your self-worth, and your emotional clarity. Why no contact works? When a relationship ends, emotions run high. You might feel anger, sadness, confusion, or even hope for reconciliation. These feelings are valid, but here's the truth. Constantly communicating with your ex during this vulnerable time keeps you stuck in a cycle of pain and longing. The no contact rule gives you the breathing room to process your emotions without external distractions. Think of it like a garden. After a storm, the soil needs time to settle before you can plant seeds again. Your heart is the same way. No contact allows you to rebuild your foundation so that you can grow stronger, healthier, and more resilient. Boundaries and self-worth. By stepping back, you're sending a powerful message to your ex and to yourself. You're saying, I value myself enough to prioritize my healing. This isn't selfish, it's necessary. Remember, the most important relationship you'll ever have is the one with yourself. Relatable example. Let me share a story. A friend of mine, Sarah, went through a difficult breakup. She was tempted to text her ex every day, hoping for closure. But instead, she committed to the no contact rule. At first, it was hard. She felt lost and lonely. But as weeks went by, something amazing happened. She started focusing on her passions, spending time with friends, and rediscovering the hobbies she loved. One day, her ex reached out, saying he missed her and realized how much he had taken her for granted. But by then, Sarah had grown so much that she realized she didn't need his validation anymore. She had found her strength and was ready to move forward on her terms. Emotional clarity. This is the beauty of no contact. It gives you the space to see things clearly. It helps you differentiate between what you truly want and what you're holding onto out of fear or habit. So if you're struggling to stick to the no contact rule, remember this: it's not about them, it's about you. It's about reclaiming your power, healing your heart, and setting the stage for the next, better chapter of your life. Let's dive into the first undeniable sign that the no contact rule is working: seeing you thrive. When you focus on your happiness and independence, something magical happens. Your growth and transformation send a powerful message not just to the person you're no longer in contact with, but to everyone around you. You're showing the world, I am stronger, happier, and more complete than ever. The psychological impact. Here's why this works. When someone sees you thriving, it sparks curiosity. They start wondering, how are they doing so well without me? Did I underestimate them? Have I lost something valuable? This feeling of curiosity can often turn into regret. And regret, that's a powerful motivator for reconnecting. A real-life example. I once knew a guy named Mark. After his breakup, he was devastated. But instead of wallowing, he decided to focus on himself. He started working out, learning a new language, and even got promoted at work. One day, his ex stumbled upon his social media posts pictures of him smiling, traveling, and achieving his goals. You can guess what happened next. She reached out. But here's the twist. By the time she did, Mark was so content with his new life that he no longer needed her validation. Practical tips to thrive. So, how can you create your Mark moment? Take up a hobby, whether it's painting, hiking, or playing guitar. Doing something you love not only boosts your mood, but also your confidence. Focus on health. Start that fitness journey you've been putting off. Not only will you look great, but you'll feel unstoppable. Advance your career. Take on challenges at work, learn a new skill, or pursue a side hustle. Growth in your career reflects your independence and ambition. Embrace the growth. Remember, thriving isn't about making them jealous, it's about making yourself proud. The better you feel about your life, the less you'll need their validation. And ironically, that's often when they start to notice just how incredible you are. So, take this time to shine. Not for them, but for you. Because you deserve to be your best self, no matter who's watching. Let's dive into the second undeniable sign that the no contact rule is working: fear of replacement. Now, this might sound a bit harsh, but it's rooted in a fascinating psychological principle called loss aversion. Understanding loss aversion. Here's the deal. Humans hate losing something they value more than they enjoy gaining something new. It's why losing a $20 bill feels worse than finding a $20 bill feels good. In relationships, this fear can manifest as the anxiety of being replaced. When you step back and focus on yourself, the person on the other side starts to wonder, what if someone else is filling the space I left behind? This thought triggers feelings of urgency and regret. They start to reevaluate their decision, not because you're chasing them, but because you're thriving without them. It's like watching someone water a garden you abandoned that suddenly looks lush, green, and vibrant, and you realize you've lost something beautiful. A real-life example. Take my friend Anna, for instance. After a tough breakup, she decided to follow the no-contact rule and focus on herself. She started posting about her travels, sharing photos of her art projects, and even joined a community yoga class. Her ex, seeing this transformation through mutual friends, started panicking. What if she's happier without me? What if someone else is appreciating her? He eventually reached out, but by then, Anna had built a life so fulfilling that she no longer needed his validation. Practical tips to amplify this effect. Now, let's talk about how you can naturally amplify this effect in your life. Stay active on social media, share your growth journey, but do it authentically. People are drawn to positivity and progress. Network and meet new people. Expanding your social circle can signal that you're open to new opportunities both personally and professionally. Celebrate your wins. Whether it's a career milestone or a personal achievement, take the time to celebrate and share it with those who support you. Reclaim your power. Here's the thing. Fear of replacement isn't about making someone jealous, it's about showing them that your life doesn't stop when they leave. It's about reclaiming your power and proving to yourself that you're worth every ounce of happiness and success you create. So, keep watering your garden, keep thriving, and remember, when they realize what they've lost, it's not your responsibility to go back, it's your opportunity to decide if they still fit in the vibrant life you've created. Now let's talk about sign 3, nostalgia and rosy retrospection. It's a mouthful, but this concept is deeply rooted in how our brains work, and it's a powerful force in relationships. How nostalgia works: when enough time passes after a breakup, the mind has an interesting way of filtering memories. Instead of focusing on the fights, misunderstandings, or challenges, The brain starts spotlighting the highlights, the laughter, the connection, and the shared dreams. This process, known as rosy retrospection, creates a romanticized version of the past, making everything seem better than it might have been in reality. Think about it like an old photo album. You flip through and see smiling faces, beautiful places, and moments of joy. You don't remember the awkward poses or bad lighting. You remember the feeling those moments gave you. Nostalgia works the same way. It's emotional Photoshop for your memories. A real-life story. Take Lisa, for example. After ending a 2-year relationship, she was sure she'd made the right decision. The first few weeks were tough, but as time went on, she started to miss her ex, not the fights or the struggles, but the Sunday mornings they spent baking together or the road trips filled with their favorite music. One day, her ex sent her a message out of the blue. "I was just thinking about that road trip we took to the mountains. Those were some of the best times of my life." Nostalgia had worked its magic on both sides, pulling them back into the warmth of those shared memories. Balancing nostalgia with realism. While nostalgia is powerful, it's important to balance it with realistic expectations. Yes, those moments were wonderful, but they're part of a bigger story, a story that also includes challenges. Ask yourself, are you missing the person or are you missing the feeling? Are you remembering the relationship as it truly was or as you wished it had been? This distinction is crucial. Practical advice to navigate nostalgia effectively. Journal your feelings. Writing down both the good and the bad can help you see the relationship more clearly. Talk to trusted friends. Sometimes an outside perspective can remind you why the relationship ended in the first place. Focus on the present. Engage in activities that bring you joy now, rather than dwelling on what's behind you. Embrace the lessons. Nostalgia can be a teacher if you let it. It reminds you of what you value in a relationship and what you want to carry into your future. But don't let it pull you back into something that doesn't align with who you've become. Remember, it's okay to cherish the good times, but don't let the highlight reel blind you to the bigger picture. Use those memories to inspire growth, not to justify a return to something that wasn't right for you. Now let's talk about sign 4, confrontation with ego. This is where the no contact rule becomes not just a boundary, but a mirror that forces the other person to face themselves. Ego and power dynamics, relationships, whether we like it or not, often involve subtle power dynamics. Sometimes one person gets used to having the upper hand. Maybe they know you'll always be there, or perhaps they've become comfortable with the idea that you need them more than they need you. When you step back and go no contact, you disrupt this dynamic. Suddenly, the control they thought they had starts to slip. They're left with a void, a silence that makes them question their assumptions. And that silence, it's powerful. It's a reminder that your world doesn't revolve around them, and that can be a hard pill for their ego to swallow. A real-life example. Let me share a story about my friend Jason. After his breakup, he decided to step back completely. No texts, no calls, no likes on social media. At first, his ex seemed unaffected. She was posting pictures, going out, and acting like everything was fine. But after a month, the messages started. "Why aren't you reaching out? Do you even care anymore?" What happened? Jason's absence forced her to confront her ego. She was so used to his attention that the lack of it felt unsettling. She realized she wasn't the center of his universe anymore, and that made her rethink the dynamic they'd built. Staying confident amid manipulation. Now, here's the tricky part. When someone's ego is challenged, they might try to regain control through manipulation or guilt. They might say things like, "I thought you cared," or "I guess I meant nothing to you." Here's how you can stay confident and avoid falling into these traps. Remember your why. You chose no contact to heal and grow, not to play games. Keep that purpose front and center. Don't respond to emotional traps. If their messages feel manipulative, give yourself permission to not reply. Silence can be more powerful than words. Focus on your growth. Channel your energy into activities that build your confidence, whether it's fitness, learning a new skill, or reconnecting with old friends. The bigger picture. When you step back, you're not just giving them space, you're reclaiming your own. You're showing them, and yourself, that you don't need constant validation to feel worthy. And in doing so, you shift the dynamic entirely. Closing thought. So, if you're worried about how they're perceiving your silence, don't be. Remember, this isn't about hurting them or playing games. It's about taking a stand for yourself, and sometimes that stand is exactly what makes them see you in a whole new light. Let's explore the fifth and final sign, the illusion of loss. This is where the no contact rule truly works its magic, creating a deep sense of regret in the other person. The power of absence. Have you ever noticed how we tend to value things more once they're gone? This is a psychological phenomenon where the absence of something amplifies its perceived value. When you apply the no contact rule, you're giving the other person space to truly feel your absence. Suddenly, they start to realize what they've lost, and the void you leave becomes almost impossible to ignore. Why it works? The illusion of loss creates a powerful emotional response. The person begins to think about all the good times, the unique qualities you brought into their life, and the connection they might never find again. The fear of losing something valuable makes them reevaluate their choices. And here's the kicker. It's not about making them suffer, it's about allowing them to see your worth clearly, without the distractions of constant availability. A real-life story. I remember a client of mine, Sarah, who followed the no contact rule after a breakup. Her ex was confident that she'd come running back, but instead, she focused on herself traveling, taking up photography, and rediscovering her independence. After 3 months, her ex reached out, saying, "I can't stop thinking about what we had. I didn't realize how much I relied on your energy until it was gone." Practical tips to stay empowered. If the illusion of loss starts to draw someone back into your life, here's how you can ensure that reconnecting happens on your terms. Maintain boundaries. If they reach out, take your time to respond. Show them that you're in control of your time and energy. Focus on clarity. Before reconnecting, ask yourself what you truly want. Are you ready to revisit the relationship, or is their return an opportunity for closure? Stay true to your growth. Don't abandon the progress you've made just because they've realized your worth. Your growth is the foundation of your strength. Balancing the reconnection. If you choose to engage, remember that it's not about jumping back to where things left off. Use this opportunity to redefine the relationship, set healthier boundaries, and ensure that your needs are respected moving forward. Final thought. The illusion of loss is powerful because it highlights something that many people overlook, the true value of a meaningful connection. But here's the secret. It's not just about them realizing your worth. It's about you realizing it too. So, embrace the space you've created. Let them feel the absence, and let yourself grow into the person you were always meant to be. If they return, make sure it's on your terms, with your self-worth shining brighter than ever. Let's talk about the most important takeaway from the no contact rule: self-worth and boundaries. This isn't about manipulating someone back into your life, it's about rediscovering your value and protecting your emotional health. The foundation of self-worth. At its core, self-worth is about recognizing that you are enough. You don't need someone else's validation to define your value. The no contact rule allows you to take a step back, assess what you truly want, and give yourself the space to heal and grow. Remember, you're not ignoring them to hurt them, you're prioritizing yourself because you deserve peace and clarity. Why boundaries matter. Boundaries are the backbone of healthy relationships. They're not walls to shut people out, they're guidelines for how you expect to be treated. Without boundaries, relationships can become draining, one-sided, or even toxic. The no contact rule is a powerful way to set a clear boundary. I am not available for disrespect, manipulation, or uncertainty. Here's the thing, when you set boundaries, you're teaching others how to treat you. You're saying, I value myself enough to protect my energy, and I expect you to respect that. And if they can't respect those boundaries, that's their loss, not yours. A real-life lesson. I remember a story about a woman named Maria. After years of bending over backward for her partner, she finally hit a breaking point. She decided to go no contact, not out of spite, but out of a need to rebuild her confidence. In those months of silence, she found herself again. She started painting, exercising, and reconnecting with old friends. When her partner reached out, Maria was no longer the same person. She told him, "If we're going to try again, it has to be on healthier terms. My boundaries are non-negotiable now." The role of emotional healing. Healing doesn't happen overnight. It's a gradual process of letting go, forgiving yourself, and learning to love the parts of you that you once doubted. Give yourself the grace to feel every emotion: anger, sadness, hope, and joy. Healing isn't linear, but every step you take is a step closer to becoming the best version of yourself. Affirmations to inspire confidence. Here are a few affirmations to keep you grounded. I am worthy of love and respect. My boundaries protect my peace and my heart. I am growing into the person I am meant to be, and I am proud of my progress. I release what no longer serves me and welcome what aligns with my highest good. I deserve relationships that uplift and empower me. Closing thought. The no contact rule isn't just a strategy for relationships, it's a commitment to yourself. It's about valuing your own well-being above the temporary comfort of someone else's attention. Remember, you're not just waiting for someone to realize your worth, you're realizing it for yourself. So take this time to focus on you. Set those boundaries, protect your peace, and embrace the amazing, resilient person that you are. Because the most important relationship you'll ever have is the one you have with yourself. And here we are at the closing of our journey through the no contact rule. If you've been wondering whether it's working, let me remind you of something important. This journey isn't just about the other person, it's about rediscovering yourself and your value. Reflecting on the process. Take a moment to reflect on everything you've gained through this process. No contact isn't about playing games or trying to win someone back. It's about creating space to focus on your healing and growth. Whether they come back or not, the true victory lies in finding yourself. Remember Sarah, who we talked about earlier. Her transformation wasn't about her ex, it was about her. She became a stronger, more confident version of herself, and that light drew people back into her life naturally. That's what this rule is truly about, allowing yourself to shine so brightly that it inspires both you and others. Your next steps, as you move forward, remember these 3 key principles. Stay focused on your growth. Your journey doesn't end here. Whether it's picking up a new hobby, building your career, or simply taking time for self-care, continue investing in yourself. Trust the timing. Everything happens for a reason, and sometimes the answers we're looking for come when we least expect them. Be patient with yourself and the process. Embrace your power. You've come so far. Celebrate that. You are stronger, wiser, and more resilient than you might realize. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Have you ever tried the no contact rule? What was your experience like? Did it help you grow? Share your stories in the comments below. And if you're looking for more insights like these, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Let's continue this journey of self-discovery and empowerment together. As we wrap up, let me leave you with this. The most important relationship you'll ever have is the one you have with yourself. So treat yourself with the love, respect, and care you deserve. Because when you do, the right people, those who value and uplift you, will naturally find their way into your life.